about the glycemic index, why some people feel it is an amazing tool while others say it is absolutely absurd and no one should put any value in this. I do want to explain both sides of it and how you can really utilize this glycemic index tool to your benefit, not only for prevention of type 2 diabetes, but also for fat burning purposes, energy purposes, muscle building purposes, and just feeling your best self. So if you are new to this page, I preach everything wellness for women over 40, and I myself am an exercise physiologist, nutritionist. I've helped thousands of women find their healthy balance between nutrition, exercise, time with their family, navigating all of life's ups and downs. And the one piece of the nutritional puzzle that I have preached and used myself as my main nutritional tool is the glycemic index. I have never counted calories. I have never counted macros. And I've strictly focused on blood sugar regulation as my main focus for the last 24 years. And that is what I preach to all women in my program. Yes, we give caloric and macro ranges. However, we really take them from an obsession over the numbers to focusing on the bigger picture, prioritizing blood sugar, focusing on gut health improvement, focusing on hormones, and how to balance everything appropriately so they can break free of all the counting and measuring and weighing. Okay, so now that we got all that behind us, I want to dive into what this glycemic index actually is, because I'm sure many of you do not know what this term means. So this was a ranking system developed originally for diabetics years ago, and it's basically showing you how quickly a food is digested in the body. So any food containing carbohydrates, that's every food outside of straight protein, straight fiber, that definitely has an impact on blood sugar when you consume it. So every food with carbohydrates on a ranking system from 0 to 100, 100 being table sugar, being straight sugar. You have watermelon, you have rice cakes, you have all the sweet treats. That's at the top of the list, okay? At the bottom is going to be your very much like nuts and seeds, and even berries are lower on the glycemic index. Your cruciferous vegetables, of course, are even lower than your fruits, okay? So you've got your fruits, legumes, and then you keep building up. Now, within each category, when you have a fruit isn't just all created equal. And although people that like to focus on just calories, they say, oh, well, just eat fruit. Well, that's all well and good, but if your blood sugar is not healthy, it doesn't matter how low your calories are, you can be damaging insulin at the same time as going low calories. So it's going to work initially, but eventually it's not, okay? So when we're looking at fruit, watermelon, pineapple, those are at the top of the glycemic index, meaning the body is going to digest it quickly. So if we're talking high glycemic foods, you eat it, the body digests it quickly, which means blood sugar spikes. And when blood sugar spikes, pancreas releases insulin to bring blood sugar back down to baseline. It's okay on occasion to have things high glycemic, yes, but the problem is a lot of people focus on low calorie, which a lot of times is high glycemic foods, rice cakes, pretzels, watermelon, pineapple, things like that. So when your blood sugar goes up, pancreas releases insulin, insulin goes up, and then everything comes back down. But the problem is if you do this often enough, you develop insulin resistance. I'm sure you've heard that term. And let me know in the comments if you have questions, if you've heard these things. Give me a hello. Let me know. You're eating a rice cake right now. Okay, so we're going to get into how you can lower that blood sugar spike if you are eating a high glycemic food, because it's all about balance. But when we have the quick rise and fall, a lot of people feel that the rise is when we feel all the energy, we feel like we're go, 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 and then all of a sudden it drops. We feel shaky, we feel hungry, we feel tired. And so over time, your pancreas has to shoot out more and more insulin to do the same job. And eventually, we have insulin floating around freely. And when we're in the presence of insulin, we cannot burn fat efficiently. That is the whole problem when it comes to fat loss and having your blood sugar all out of whack. And then your insulin is all out of whack. And we become insulin resistant. So it takes our body that much more to bring blood sugar back down. And that is a problem for so many reasons. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you are a woman who has this, it's very important you focus on blood sugar regulation. If you're a diabetic, clearly the whole thing is focusing on blood sugar regulation. And so if you are pre-diabetic, this is something to really take seriously, is that you have the power to reverse that. And a lot of people just think, oh, well, I'm pre-diabetic or I'm diabetic and I just need to be on insulin the rest of my life. I just need to be on medication the rest of my life. You have control, okay? So the thing is when we do focus on lower glycemic foods, we are not going to have as quick of a spike and we're not going to have as fast and as low of a drop. So instead of high glycemic eating, even if it's low calorie and we're up and down and up and down, your insulin levels always stay slightly elevated. You are now storing fat, okay? When you eat a lower glycemic meal, you rise a little bit because yes, we need to have a rise somewhat in our blood sugar, but not a spike. When you have the slow rise, you have a slow fall. Insulin, our pancreas shoots out just enough insulin to bring blood sugar back down. But if we're up here, it requires a lot more insulin, right? But if we're eating lower glycemic, everything ebbs and flows. Everything goes up and down as it should. You don't feel a crazy like go because you're on that sugar buzz, and you don't feel the crash because you're on that sugar crash, okay? And even if you're not eating sugar, that's what I'm saying. If you're eating a big plate of potatoes and you have 1 egg or you've got 2 ounces of chicken with a big thing of watermelon, a big thing of potatoes, and then like a tiny little bit of protein, that is not a balanced meal, okay? So why people think the glycemic index is just BS is because some people treat it as Bible. They think, okay, I'm going to choose something that's lower glycemic. Let's say they choose apples, okay? And they're like, okay, well, I'm eating apples. They're lower glycemic, so that's safe for my blood sugar, but they're just eating it as is. They're not adding additional fiber, additional fat, additional protein to it. These other macro and micronutrients are buffers for our blood sugar. So that's why when you hear don't eat naked carbs, it's because of the blood sugar buffering effect of adding in those macronutrients, okay? So when we're adding additional fiber, we subtract fiber from total carbs to get your net impact carbs. These are the carbs that impact your blood sugar, not the total carbs. It's net carbs. Fiber has zero impact on blood sugar. So if we subtract fiber from total carbs, that leaves us with what is truly affecting blood sugar, okay? So once you have that number, let's say, okay, well, you're doing apples and maybe you're like, I love apples. I'm going to have this or 2 big apples. And right there, that might be 60 grams of carbs. And you might get, I don't know, 8 grams of fiber there. And let's say on that same plate, you add in some chia seed pudding that has chia seeds and it has some flaxseed in it. And it's got some yogurt, Greek yogurt. And so you're getting a lot more fiber, you're getting protein, and you're getting some healthy fat with the flaxseed and the chia seed. So now we've taken 60 grams of carbs, but we've added, let's say maybe all together, let's say you just did it up and you added some protein powder in there. You got protein from the protein powder, from the Greek yogurt, from the chia seeds, the flax seeds. So now you have, let's say 60 grams of protein, which this is a hefty meal, I know, but let's just say 60 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, and you've got, let's say 15 grams of fiber. And this is a big meal. I'm not saying that people are going to be eating this all the time, but just for the mathematical equation purposes, now we're taking 15 away from 60, leaving us 45 net impact carbs with 60 grams of protein. And we've got that fiber, we've got some healthy fat in there. That right there is going to leave your blood sugar doing this instead of having 2 apples trying to keep your calories low and your blood sugar's doing this. And so what happens to that? Insulin is always going to stay a little bit elevated. It requires more insulin from the pancreas to bring it back down. Whereas if you're adding in those additional elements to the meal, it does slow down everything and all is well. Okay, you're going to feel better. And yes, I understand people want to cut calories. They want to drop body fat. But the problem with this is eventually this is going to work against you. And especially if you are a woman over 40, calories are not the main focus. They should not be at this point. If you feel your metabolism is shot and you're saying, I've done everything, I've dieted, I've cut carbs, I've cut this, I've cut that, that is why your metabolism hates you. So focus on fueling your body properly, eating enough to support your BMR and your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. Never eat less than your BMR. And with these people on Ozempic, I'm not an Ozempic hater. However, the problem with it is that people are eating less than their BMR. The problem with that is that your body functions off of a certain amount of calories. Your organs need this fuel. And when we're going less and less and less over time, our body adapts, everything down regulates, everything slows down. So that's not what we want. So for anyone trying to better understand blood sugar, if this resonates with you and you are sick of counting calories, sick of counting macros, maybe you are feeling like this is the time come the new year, you want to learn all the things. You want to be educated on your body. You want to feel your best self, you want to look your best self, then let me know and I can hook you up with whatever is going to be helpful for you. We offer coaching options, consult options, and we have a group coaching option as well. I have a masterclass, which I will put down below. And this is something I highly suggest, but I do have a free Glycemic Index guide you can download, and then an option to upgrade, if you will. If you do want to go that path, you can get the full masterclass. So please let me know if you have any questions below in the comments. I will do my best to answer. Have a great day, and I plan on making many more of these videos. I am going to be showing up much more to YouTube, so I'm excited to get the party started, and I can't do this without you all. So let me know in the comments what you're looking for in terms of educational content. If you're looking for workouts, whatever the case may be, let me know, and we will go from there. Have a good night.